So what we have here is we did a brushed to brushless conversion. Basically what we did is we took out the old stuff, which is a old brushed motor, and it was pretty low power, probably about a 100-watt motor, and even though 100 watts is quite a bit, especially for a chassis this small, it doesn't go particularly fast. This one, however, is a lot faster. To be specific, it'll boost up to about 7.4 volts at 300 amps, which is insane. What we did is we had to obviously pop out the old motor by taking apart the entire transmission. We had to replace a couple of gearings because this specific motor actually operates at a higher RPM than the other motor, so we had to increase the size of the pinion gear. Unfortunately, there was enough space, so we didn't actually have to cut any holes out here or anything. But we just increased the size. We decreased the size of the pinion gear and we increased the size of the spur gear, and that allowed us to basically have for every rotation it takes more because this revs higher than the previous motor, and that would allow us to have more torque. That will allow us to have more torque in the transmission. And then another upgrade we did was suspension. We've replaced all the springs because his original springs were a little too soft. These ones are pretty soft as well because this is a predominantly off-roading thing, but they were basically almost blown out in a way, and sometimes it would just not move in the springs, and the retention, it'd be very bouncy, but in this case it is bouncy, but it just bounces straight up. It doesn't bounce up and down. And so we replaced all the shocks and the springs, and the front ones, we've done that as well. We have the brushless motor, which is attached to an ESC, which we just fixed programming after messing it up slightly, and that attaches to a motor, the battery. So this is the battery. This is a significantly larger battery than the previous one. It's also, instead of it being a NiCad battery, this is a LiPo, which means it can output many, many more amps. The previous battery was about an 1800 milliamp, and this is about 6000. And we've just tested it, so it has about a 2-hour range currently if we don't push the motor too hard. And we've also upgraded his controller solution. So we have a new transmitter, which is much smaller, but it also has an increased range using a FlySky, so basically an off-the-shelf Amazon part. We also like it because it allows us to adjust trim and some other features such as throttle response and other types of things. So in summary, we upgraded the powertrain to a much more powerful motor. We've replaced the spur gear and that kind of thing. We upgraded the ESC, obviously, so it'll accommodate the additional power along with the battery. So the battery is much larger. We changed out the transmitter and receiver, and we also adjusted and changed out the suspension so that it all works properly. Okay, so we're doing test 1. You're gonna turn on the control first. You're gonna turn on the thing. It's making its beeping noise, right?